Hi guys, Charlie Veitch here.
I started the group called the Love Police, whose job is to lower fear and raise love using the megaphone.
Assault on their behalf. This is assault. Dude, you're not big enough for me.
Oh, I am.
No, you're a skinny crackhead, my friend.
There's me, and I got arrested on the 24th of June. Neglect to comply with the direction of a peace officer.
Charlie Veitch, the British street performer, built his 763,000 YouTube subscribers in ways you wouldn't expect. Camera in hand, he walked into busy squares, quiet parks, and even elevators, sparking arguments with complete strangers.
You're not reserving the lift for yourself. I'm sorry, dude. You're not. This guy's saying no one can go in the lift with him. It's a busy station in London, dude. You can't ride the lift by yourself.
So, I've got coronavirus.
You don't have coronavirus. I can smell you. You're drunk. You're drunk.
Sometimes it was politics, sometimes religion, sometimes nothing at all, just pushing, teasing, and provoking until somebody reacted.
Extinction Rebellion with your fascist Nordic rune flag. You should be, especially, sir, a man of your age. You know that if we don't use fossil fuels, people will starve and, you know, they'll chop down trees.
Clips of awkward debates, angry shouting matches, and even physical confrontations spread fast online, making Veitch name people argued about as much as they watched.
You mean Hamas stopped killing kids?
Hamas the kids?
Yes.
Have you got the evidence?
Yeah, it's all over video. I've got a million videos. Yeah.
Really? Show me.
But it didn't stop there. How did a man who started with street pranks end up in public feuds with figures like Alex Jones? What led to tension with his own family or even an arrest? These questions hint at a much darker and unpredictable side. And that is what we're going to explore today. First off, we know that Charlie Veitch has spent years provoking strangers on the streets of the UK. But let's get into the details. Actions like kicking, tugging hair, pulling faces, and finding countless other ways to get under their skin were his favorite. Streets, squares, and parks became his stages. Every encounter was a drama. Every passerby was a potential participant in a video that could go viral within hours. It was this immediacy, the energy of unpredictable public interactions, that first sent him into social media fame. One of the earliest examples was his confrontation at a busy Manchester street corner.
Oh man. Welcome to Manchester. I know it's like, I think I say it ironically. I don't know how welcome you feel here.
A group of boys was gathered, talking among themselves when Veitch approached, his posture deliberate, voice raised just enough to command attention. The group paused, exchanging glances at his awkward approach.
Look at you, look at your cute little fringe. Look at your cute little fringe.
Look at your trainers, bro. What are you gonna do?
Because I spend my money on real things, not like a little schluss to buy design to make me look cool.
But that weird and provocative behavior was only the start. As his confidence grew, so did the weight of his topics. He began confronting people not just for a reaction, but to challenge what they stood for. His monologues often dove into politics, religion, and global conflicts.
I don't think they want Hamas to win. They want to be the eternal victims. Hey, thumbs up. They want to be eternal victims.
The way he pushed people, picked fights, and sometimes got violent made what started as a street act feel a lot more serious and a lot more worrying.
Racism here. You're conflating race. Whoa. You're conflating racism with English patriotism. Are the English not allowed to be patriotic? The English are the only people. Oh wait, watch that megaphone ponytail.
Within hours, snippets of the confrontations and TikToks would upload online, accumulating tens of thousands of views. I don't like him, he's a bully. He singles out the people he knows he can wind up or hit. Then when it comes on top, he gets the cops to escort him out of the area. It was messy and exactly the kind of content that would define his early viral presence.
Alone! Leave me alone! Leave me alone, dude!
Likewise, a different incident shows just how far Veitch's confrontational style could go. In a London elevator, he cornered a man, insisting he was drunk. The man, clearly confused and wanting no part of it, tried to brush him off, yet Veitch kept pushing, talking over him and refusing to let up.
You're not reserving the lift for yourself. I'm sorry, dude. You're not. This guy's saying no one can go in the lift with him. It's a busy station in London, dude. You can't ride the lift by yourself.
So, I've got coronavirus.
You don't have coronavirus. I can smell you. You're drunk. You're drunk.
The video sparked debates about Charlie's behavior. Surprisingly, viewers in the comments section were praising him more. Moments like that showed how unpredictable his street theater could be. One day he'd needle a random stranger in a lift, the next he'd be crashing a public demonstration. And sometimes his approach was just downright absurd. For example, at one environmental protest against fossil fuel use, he wandered among the crowd, loudly spouting his opinions in a tone that sounded more performative than persuasive. People around him largely ignored his tirade, focused on signs, banners, and the march itself, while Charlie continued talking over the general chatter.
Look at these deluded, lefty, eco-commie, business raiding. Hello, police. Hello. Look at them. They want people to, like, hunt animals and chop down trees rather than use fossil fuels. What's ridiculous about these commie lefties is that all their policies have led to almost riots across the world. In Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, the locals, because they can't afford fuel, because of these people and their net zero initiatives, they're all the animals and chopping down all the bushes.
In an effort to amplify his presence, he even asked a woman filming nearby to drop his name and hashtag into her clip, clearly thinking it would boost his visibility rather than contribute meaningfully to the cause.
My name is Charlie Veitch. Tag me in all your photographs. You'll get a lot more engagement. Thank you, madam.
Later that same day, he approached an elderly man on a quiet street, attempting to drag him into a debate. He told the man he should feel ashamed, especially given his age, and continued speaking at length, detailing every point he wanted to make. The old man barely acknowledged him, walking on without a word, leaving Charlie talking to thin air for several minutes. The whole scenario was awkward, almost surreal, highlighting this strange mixture of performative activism and desperate self-promotion that characterized some of his content.
Extinction Rebellion with your fascist Nordic rune flag. You should be, especially, sir, a man of your age. You know that if we don't use fossil fuels, people will starve and, they'll chop down trees and animals because what else are they going to do? Don't you think that maybe with technology and like advancements in science, we can actually extract and use fossil fuels cheaply, safely? And I'll use one of your favorite words. Thank you. Environmentally, sir. So just off camera, the Extinction Rebellion fanatic goes, "You believe all that? Do you?" "Yes, I do, sir."
What's more, it wasn't a one-off. Charlie leaned into this kind of street theater, producing video after video in a similar style. Street performances often followed a predictable pattern and structure, but were unpredictable in execution. Charlie would identify a group of strangers and approach them with a question designed to provoke a reaction, like in this clip.
"Billy, you've not joined. Billy, can I get you a beer, mate? I'll get you a beer." "All right. I'll go get a gin and tonic. I'll come and join you. We'll have a drink together and we'll enrich the gardens together. Glass bottles, mess everywhere, alcohol, scary people. We'll enrich it together."
You shouldn't be here in the first place, anyway.
That's the thing, like, can I ask, wait, let me ask this guy. Are you here legally? Are you an illegal migrant?
Some encounters were calm, producing thoughtful dialogue. Others escalated into shouting matches or physical pushes. Like in this one particular clip, Veitch confronted an old man in a park who was trying to hit someone with a stick for some reason. While the situation somewhat declined for some minutes, the man became infuriated again due to Charlie's continuous filming. In the end, the frustrated man threw his beer, narrowly missing another passerby. The incident went viral almost instantly, with viewers debating both Charlie's methods and the man's response. Moreover, in several instances, Charlie's public pranks were not aimed at individuals but at institutions. Outside a busy outdoor cafe, he created a mock protest by vlogging and screaming his point of view. His goal was simple: draw attention, but the stunt never got much attention from nearby people. Even so, Charlie didn't give up. Instead, he focused on the details that made his provocations effective.
Only these people knew that they are destined for deletion, just like the keymaker in the Matrix. These are the old guard. and they must be replaced by foreign workers because these ones here demand too many rights. They've got funny ideas about the sanctity of the soul and dignity and workers' rights, human rights.
His ability to provoke a reaction often relied on subtle details. Clothing choices, body language, and tone of voice were all carefully calibrated to elicit a response. In one clip, he approached a street performer mid-show, questioning the performance's meaning and intent. The performer, initially calm, became visibly flustered but kept doing his job. Audience members began recording, drawn by the tension. However, his confrontations were not limited to adults. On several occasions, he approached teenagers or young adults in public spaces, asking provocative questions about societal norms, politics, or their personal awareness of current events.
Yeah, what's your name?
Charlie Veitch.
Can you fight?
Am I going to be on this?
Can I fight a little bit?
Jump on!
Am I going to be on this?
Yeah, you'll be on it. Yeah, I'm recording. Anyway, let me show you. That's it.
On the score now, get up,
Got a quarry like that.
like that. 9 inches, not afraid to use it.
9 inches and he's not afraid to use.
Like sometimes he would just record them and fill in a commentary of his own without going near them. But each video served the same purpose: virality. When his encounters got provocative, social media algorithms favored the unpredictability of these encounters, pushing his content to wider audiences.
On some platform. I just want to know how he stuck his phone to it. Let me guess. Stickers. Stickers, Charlie. They do exist. Yep, I agree, lady. I know how she feels. Sometimes. Oh, yes. Tell them, lady. Tell them, lady. Told you the sunshine, it does strange things to mammals. We humans are no different.
And it wasn't just a random mess. Charlie understood that suspense and tension were what kept viewers watching. So at a festival, Charlie attempted a public intervention by questioning a couple's lifestyle choices and beliefs. Footage captured the full interaction, and the clip circulated widely, with commentary focusing on his audacity. What's more, the viral nature of Charlie's confrontations was often amplified by the medium itself. Short, highly shareable clips captured the essence of the chaos: tension, surprise, and public spectacle. Viewers were drawn in by the unpredictability. Would the encounter remain verbal? Would it escalate into shoving? Would police intervene? Every post offered suspense, and every reaction further fueled the virality.
Oh no, don't come too close, seriously. You shot yourself, you little... Bye-bye!
However, even within similar environments, each encounter was distinct. In another heated scenario, Charlie approached a group in a university, filming them for what they were doing and constantly speaking. One of them, frustrated by his presence, began to argue with him to leave. However, Charlie pressed further, causing him to get even ruder. The argument spilled into the surrounding crowd, but did not stop Charlie at all.
Sorry? Oh, don't tell me to F off. Don't swear at me, dude.
Bro, you're not even really safe to be around for women. I mean, we've all heard about what happened with
Whoa,
your past. Just fuck off,
dude.
mate.
Wow.
Arrest off.
No, I'm not going to F off. Sorry, dude. Hello, mate. How are you? This guy here with the funny scarf's getting a bit aggressive with me.
Charlie also used public holidays and large gatherings as opportunities for engagement. During one, he stood among spectators asking provocative questions. Bystanders approached, some engaging in debate, others shouting insults. The video captured not only the interaction, but the reactions of the surrounding crowd, adding layers to the viral appeal.
What I was doing, speaking to my CIA handler, is that what we do is we get a lot of acid and crack and fill it up with like really corporate viruses and then feed it to the hippies, especially the hippie children.
Analyzing everything, we can say that Charlie's approach was a blend of performance art and confrontation. While some criticized him as exploitative or attention-seeking, the effect of his public interactions was undeniable. Each encounter and random video, whether calm or chaotic, added to a growing archive of viral content. It was a methodical gathering of attention, each clip reinforcing his reputation as a provocateur and capture of disturbing clips that thrived on unpredictability. And this carefully crafted presence wasn't limited to a single street or city. It followed him everywhere he went. Across city streets, parks, and public spaces, Charlie's presence was felt as both a spectacle and a challenge. People who encountered him were unsure whether they were participants in a social experiment, targets of confrontation, or unwilling stars in a viral video. His ability to straddle these lines, provoking, entertaining, and enraging simultaneously, was a hallmark of his early online presence. This earned him his position as a fan favorite among those who found his humor interesting and his takes necessary. "Charlie, your humor never ceases to amaze me, always puts a smile on my face." While Charlie's confrontations with the general public built his reputation as a provocateur, this same tendency carried over into encounters with the most vulnerable, those who had little power to respond or escape, turning everyday spaces into stages for some of his most ethically contentious videos. Unlike his street confrontations that grab attention through public spectacle, some of his most controversial content involves people who have little power in these interactions. Homeless individuals, addicts, and marginalized groups often appear in his videos, not by choice, but because he has deliberately sought them out as subjects. This is shown in one of his viral clips. It involved a man clearly intoxicated and angered by Charlie's antics. Charlie approached, camera in hand, asking pointed questions and making harsh comments. The man's discomfort was evident, yet Veitch pressed on, framing the conversation in ways that heightened tension and made the encounter almost theatrical.
I didn't boot you into the next one.
What?
I'll you won't. No, you won't, mate. No, you won't.
You shit it last time. Yeah, remember the headbutt guy? That is me.
Away from me.
This was not a dialogue meant to uncover truths or offer insight. It was content designed to provoke reactions both on screen and among the viewers online. In another instance, he recorded police approaching the homeless people, and he talked about their lives. Another notable example involved a group of individuals in a city center, sitting quietly on the edge of a busy square. Charlie approached them with questions that were very aggressive and impolite. His camera captured their hesitation, the subtle signs of discomfort as they realized they were being scrutinized not for insight, but for entertainment. Some of the individuals tried to leave, only to be followed by Charlie, whose filming style left them with little room to disengage.
Well, anywhere in Britain, anywhere, it's the dysgenic guy's moment. Yeah, we'll do. You got your martyrdom, sir. Yay! Keep him until Monday morning. It'll be good for him. Straight to court Monday morning. It's really boring when you get arrested on a Saturday. He got his martyrdom. Hello, you look a bit dysgenic as well. Don't trust you, dude.
The clip went viral almost immediately, generating tens of thousands of views within a day. The online discussion was heated. Some viewers praised his courage and his ability to make people think. Others condemned him, describing the content as an invasion of privacy and an exploitation of those already at a disadvantage. These incidents were far from isolated. In a bus, Charlie encountered a woman who was sitting beside him. He started filming her suddenly, and Veitch spoke to her in a confrontational tone, recording the woman's responses. The woman's hesitation and anger was central to the video, capturing attention not because of any insight, but because viewers found the discomfort compelling.
Come on.
You touch me, I'll have you arrested for assault.
Assault? I won't touch you with a bash ball, mate.
Got any more insults to say there?
Spunk.
Any more insults?
Oh. Do you know I wanted to? I just smashed your camera straight away.
Would you?
Idiot,
Would you
yeah.
smash the camera?
Yes, I would.
Would you?
Yes.
The clip was widely criticized by social media commentators and journalists alike. One person emphasized the ethical dilemma of turning another person's views into entertainment. Veitch, for his part, defended the video as an opportunity to highlight social stigma. But the majority of feedback framed it as insensitive, manipulative, and exploitative. Disrespecting people because you legally can is not a good reason to do so. Veitch's exploration of marginalized communities did not stop there. Addicts and individuals struggling with substance abuse were also featured in his content. In one video, he approached a man standing outside a building, visibly under the influence, and began a conversation that quickly escalated into questioning the man in a confrontational manner. The man's responses were halting and uncertain, his vulnerability on full display. Viewers watched intently as Charlie navigated the interaction as his friend came up and started arguing. Some argued that exposing social problems through such raw footage had value. Others insisted that the harm done to the individuals involved outweighed any potential societal insight. You troll people, you get trolled back, seems fair. At the heart of the debate was Veitch's method. Tension and unpredictability were his tools. By deliberately provoking those he filmed, he created moments of conflict that drew viewers in. This method, however, meant that ethical considerations were frequently secondary to content creation. For example, in one video, he called out to a person rudely, and the interaction turned tense and coercive, leaving viewers questioning the morality of capturing such moments for entertainment.
You don't need to approach me.
Why don't I need to approach you?
Because it's none of your f***ing business.
You swear at me one more time, mate. I f***ing dare you. Go on, I...
Get the f*** out of my face.
You know what?
Dude, get the f*** out of my... Dude, get out of my face.
Critics also highlighted that Veitch rarely provided context or follow-up for the individuals featured in his videos. Once the clip was uploaded, the subjects were left exposed to public scrutiny, comments, and sometimes ridicule without recourse. The potential consequences for these individuals, such as social stigma, embarrassment, or psychological distress, were rarely addressed in the content itself. Why is it he always shows the negative side of the others and never the before video of how he provokes others and then shows their reaction? He picks on smaller people who won't hit back. This lack of accountability contributed to the perception that his work prioritized virality over empathy. While Veitch may have intended to spark dialogue or provoke thought, the ethical implications of filming people without informed consent remained a central concern.
These people in their golden years behave themselves. Sir, are you carrying drugs on you? Yes. Good man. This is Manchester. Yes. Enjoy the show.
Despite the backlash, Charlie's content continued to thrive online, demonstrating the complex relationship between ethics, virality, and public attention. Each new video featuring a vulnerable individual reignited debates about exploitation, responsibility, and the boundaries of acceptable content creation. Analysts and commentators noted that while some viewers engaged with the content critically, many consumed it passively, drawn to the shock value rather than any social message. This dynamic further complicated discussions about the role of ethics in modern digital media, highlighting the tension between engagement metrics and moral responsibility. Moreover, Veitch's approach has also prompted broader discussions about social media culture. Platforms that reward virality often incentivize content that shocks, provokes, or generates controversy. In this environment, creators like Charlie operate within a system that amplifies attention at the expense of nuance and ethical consideration. It can be argued that this system creates conditions where exploitation can be profitable, raising questions about the responsibility of both creators and platforms to protect vulnerable populations from being used as content fodder. Even with ongoing criticism, Charlie Veitch maintained a consistent style, confrontational, unpredictable, and focused on interactions that would generate attention. Whether filming individuals struggling with addiction, homelessness, or social marginalization, he consistently provided the reaction and engagement of his audience.
Get a job! Get a job! Have a shower! Personal hygiene!
While this approach undeniably contributed to his online notoriety and influence, it also left a trail of ethical questions that continue to follow his content. By turning the personal and vulnerable into spectacle, he forced audiences and critics alike to consider the fine line between social critique and exploitation, and whether one can exist without the other in the realm of provocative digital media.
Hey, well, hello, mate. I gotta keep filming. There's some people. Are they coming up on us? Oh yeah, there's one trying to flank us on the far right. All right. Chill. Yeah, dude, let's go.
Throughout his career, Veitch demonstrated an acute awareness of how discomfort drives engagement. He repeatedly sought out situations where tension, uncertainty, and human vulnerability intersected, capturing these moments with precision for a digital audience hungry for immediacy and spectacle.
Why are you coming in? How much of a camera thinking you sit, bruv?
Sorry, going, mate. Yes, I am. No, you watch where you're going, bro. Yeah, you watch where you're going. Watch where you're going, bro. Oh, you're gonna smash my head in?
Why are you coming in so much with a camera thinking you're sick, bruv?
Sorry?
Some man with a kid, you little clown.
Excuse me?
I said, you little clown. F*** off.
What?
Little mug.
What? You think you're big enough?
What?
You think you're big enough?
You think you're big enough because you got a camera? Little dude. Take another step, I'll take you out.
Of course you will, little boy. Sexy little guy.
Have you got a problem or something?
Have I got a problem?
Yeah.
Well, no. Do you have a problem?
Yeah, I have with you.
Why?
Because you're an asshole.
I'm an asshole? All right, madam. Thank you for your comments. Yeah.
Critics argue that this approach treats people as instruments of entertainment, measuring their reactions against the potential virality of the clip rather than their dignity. Yet Veitch, for his part, presented these interactions as reflective exercises designed to confront audiences with the realities of society's overlooked members. When everybody calls you an a-hole, it's time to think about your own behavior. The same confrontations that drew online attention often spilled into the real world, bringing Veitch face-to-face with legal consequences. Unlike scripted performances or controlled stunts, many of his encounters in public spaces carried real-world consequences, resulting in arrests, citations, and legal scrutiny. The way he recorded his videos, trespassing boundaries and places, brought him into the bad books of the police, but he didn't seem to care. Rather, he turned that into content as well.
Who's being abusive? Oh, okay, should I obey your orders then? Who's being abusive? Leave me alone. How many times have I asked you to leave me alone? It could be harassment if you don't leave me alone. I've asked you on video, leave me alone.
You're being on the railway property, that's a private.
So what? So what? I often travel through the station. I buy tickets and I travel.
Do you have tickets?
I'm not interested in answering your questions. I'll ask you questions. Why are you still bothering me?
Answering your questions either.
Yeah, but you got to behave yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Haven't you? Go and behave yourself.
Just because your camera's on now, you're trying to get all thing, you know.
I bet you're filming me on your little halo.
Yeah, we are.
Good.
So what are you recording me?
You should have at least given me the courtesy to say.
Yeah, but
You don't need to give the courtesy to say.
Of course I did. I've just said. You should. You know.
We don't even tell you.
Yeah.
When you've got a camera.
Also, could you respect my personal space and take a step back, please?
What person?
Yeah, look, your boss is saying step back. Thanks, bro. Thank you. I'm going to give you guys some more orders now. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Go away. Try your nonsense with someone else, not with the cameraman. Not interested, boys. Travel safe, officer. Go and invade Poland.
One of Veitch's earliest arrests occurred on June 24, 2010, during the G20 summit in Toronto. Having been in Canada for only 24 hours, he was stopped by police in a security zone and asked to show his ID, a requirement under a new section of the Public Works Act. Veitch initially tried to reason with the officer, but was quickly handcuffed and taken into custody, spending 24 hours in detention.
They held me for 20 hours following my arrest yesterday at 3 p.m. by Staff Sergeant Reynolds, badge number 3061, on the most bullshit charge of not providing my ID when asked to do so by an officer of the law. The guy didn't really give me a chance to give my ID. I tried to reason with him for a second. The next thing you know, the handcuffs are thrown on.
During that time, he was held with his hands cuffed behind his back for several hours, even when using the bathroom, and later moved to a large warehouse facility where protesters were confined in caged areas under constant surveillance. He described the environment as highly intimidating, with officers questioning him repeatedly about his purpose in Canada and the activities of the Love Police.
Where I was handcuffed with the cuffs behind my back for 4 hours, and they wouldn't loosen or release me from the cuffs. Even when I went to the bathroom, I still had to wear the handcuffs. I'm slightly traumatized by the whole event because they really treated me with absolute discourtesy and disrespect. I got taken after my 5 hours in the cuffs to the Toronto film studios, where they set up this massive warehouse where they're holding G20 Toronto protesters prisoner, and it's truly a Guantanamo Bay style affair. I was in this giant black warehouse where they'd set up cages with strip lights and cameras and audio recording equipment so that you can't have any privacy, and they decided to hold me for as long as they could.
Authorities even threatened deportation, questioning whether he was acting as an undercover agent or intending to incite violence. Veitch was eventually released on bail with conditions requiring him to show his ID when asked, allowing him to continue covering the summit. The experience was deeply traumatic for him, illustrating the real-world consequences of public confrontation and the tension between performance, satire, and law enforcement scrutiny.
I'd be at immigration prison station until my flight home on the 29th. I got 2 teams of detectives to question me, saying, yeah, you're not a filmmaker, we want to know what you're truly here for. You might have knowledge about violent people who are here protesting. I tried to explain to them what I do with the Love Police, but they weren't very understanding at all. And on the very, very serious charge of failing to show my ID, my identification when asked to do so, I've just spent 20 hours in the custody of the Canadian Toronto Police. And just behind me in the courthouse here, I've just been in a cell with 15 other guys, all different walks of life, all different crimes, from stabbings to aggravated assaults to theft. And I really feel very traumatized by it all. It's not very nice when it actually happens. And I'd been in Canada for 24 hours before they decided to single me out and arrest me. And it's a bit of a blow, but I'm free, I'm out now, and...
Following it, Veitch's second arrest took place in 2011 in central London in the context of political activism surrounding the royal wedding. Police approached him at his home with allegations of conspiracy to cause public nuisance and suspicion of aggravated trespass at Freemasons Hall in Piccadilly.
Grounds to suspect that you've conspired with others to cause public nuisance in relation to the royal wedding.
Oh, this is just the
29th
anarchist.
of April 2011.
Yeah.
You're also under arrest on suspicion of aggravated trespass at Fortman and Mason in Piccadilly, London, which occurred on Saturday the 26th of March 2011, where you've been identified by witnesses as being present. Your arrest is necessary for a prompt and effective investigation of these allegations. I need you to come with me to Parkside Police Station, please.
So, okay, what do I do?
So I would suggest, if it's all right with you, if we come in, you can get yourself dressed, you can get whatever you need, mobile, wallet, etc., and come down to Parkside with us immediately.
Do you have any evidence for the claims you're suggesting?
There is. He's marked as wanted on P&T by the Metropolitan Police. I would assume they'd have to have evidence so that we can...
I was checked yesterday.
It went into the police office.
Yeah, I went to Scotland Yard and I spoke with the police outside Buckingham Palace. They radioed me in. I'm not wanted nor disqualified.
Okay, well, unfortunately, that's not the case.
Yeah.
You are.
Despite his insistence that he had committed no crime, he was taken into custody for questioning and required to comply with procedures before being escorted to Parkside Police Station. The arrest involved a search of his residence under Section 32 of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act, as officers sought any items connected with the alleged offenses.
And I'll go and get dressed.
Not to seem draconian, but because you're under my arrest and you're going to be getting dressed, I want to make sure that you haven't got anything on you that you could use to escape or harm me or anything. So I'd like... Is this... Mr. Veitch?
Yes.
It is. Under Section 32 of PACE, which is basically it's a power that enables us to search the place that you've been arrested from for any items that are related to the allegations of the offences that you've been arrested for.
Veitch's partner was present throughout, emphasizing that his activism focused on free speech and peaceful protest rather than violence. The entire process highlighted the tension between political expression and law enforcement action, particularly when public demonstrations and satirical activism intersect. While the arrest was temporary and no formal charges were ultimately pressed, the episode underscored how Veitch's confrontational style, combined with high visible activism, repeatedly brought him into direct contact with authorities. At the station, Veitch underwent standard processing, which included being held in custody, documenting personal information, and allowing the officers to secure his possessions. The questioning focused on the specific events at Freemasons Hall and the broader context of his political activism. Officers examined eyewitness reports identifying him at the site, though Veitch maintained that his presence was non-criminal and purely observational. Legal counsel was consulted to ensure compliance with procedural requirements and protect his rights during custody. After several hours, he was bailed under conditions that primarily involved cooperating with any further inquiries, though no formal charges were ultimately filed. As if that wasn't enough, in 2012 he was involved again in a high-profile anti-austerity protest in London. He led a group advocating for peaceful disruption to challenge societal norms. During the demonstration, Veitch participated in occupying Fortnum and Mason and was present at other sites like McDonald's in Leicester Square and Boots in Piccadilly Circus. He later described these actions as political art, emphasizing non-violent resistance. Then in 2012, Veitch faced yet another legal confrontation during a public demonstration aimed at critiquing societal complacency in consumer culture. The event took place outside a major commercial square in London, where he employed a megaphone, hand-painted signs, and direct engagement with passerby to convey messages about compassion, community, and the spiritual void he saw in modern society. His approach combined social commentary with performative disruption, deliberately interrupting the flow of daily routines to draw attention to issues he framed as ethical and existential.
Along the line in the last 80 years, we stopped believing in family, in brotherhood, compassion, and love. And we started believing in pure greed through free market capitalism. And I'm the biggest believer in free market capitalism. It's just that when you couple that with greed and a lack of spirituality, you've got fascism that gets created.
Although his intent was educational rather than malicious, security personnel quickly intervened, claiming that his actions obstructed pedestrian movement and created tension among shoppers. Police were called to assess the situation, citing concerns over potential public nuisance and minor obstruction. While no violence occurred, police informed Veitch that his behavior could constitute a minor legal infraction due to interference with public pathways and the risk of escalating disorder.
Common law rights if I'm not hurting, stealing, or harming.
About another 10 minutes, you say?
10 minutes.
How about if I go and ask them?
Yeah.
Will they be
fantastic.
That?
Because then everyone wins. Yeah.
As long as, I mean, we just want a balance of your civil liberties. We definitely don't want to step on that.
Of course.
But we also do have to work within the law. And I appreciate there is an argument where that law meets.
Sure.
And it's well above my head, I'm afraid.
And mine.
So you have the best policemen in the world.
The encounter concluded with Veitch receiving a formal notice for a minor offense, obstruction and causing a minor disturbance. Classified as a civil matter, the citation carried potential fines rather than criminal liability. Legal counsel confirmed the procedural nature of the citation, reinforcing that it did not imply wrongdoing under criminal law.
Well, that would be preferable for me, even if it is just for 5 minutes. That's what I prefer.
Yeah. No,
but then it's no longer a balance, it's just one person won.
Yeah, then it's them telling me that I can't speak freely about peace and love here. And what I said to you earlier is that the civil law about it, or the criminal, I don't think it's a criminal matter.
Unfortunately, I prefer if you decide the bollards.
Okay,
While minor, the incident highlighted a consistent pattern in Veitch's work. High visibility activism repeatedly drew official scrutiny. The confrontation underscored the balance between street-level performance, public engagement, and regulatory oversight. Supporters framed the citation as disproportionate, emblematic of societal overregulation, while critics noted the amplified sound and direct engagement created legitimate grounds for intervention. On this, Veitch accepted the citation without contest, using the experience to show the tension between activism and public order. The episode became a reference point in discussions about civil liberties, demonstrating that even nonviolent, well-intentioned demonstrations can provoke institutional responses with cultural significance, emphasizing the legal and social consequences inherent in performance activism.
Thank you very much. I mean, nice to meet you as well.
Right,
nice to meet you. Charlie Veitch.
They don't get the hug.
Nice to meet you.
You don't get hugs.
Yeah, cheers guys. No, you've been really cool. And this is why everyone knows British police are the best in the world.
However, Veitch's confrontations with law enforcement were not always predictable or controlled. In one incident in Manchester, he filmed on a street while approaching passerby with provocative questions. The crowd grew uneasy as his filming became more insistent.
Your town, am I? Am I in your town? Is this a local town for local people, is it?
I'm a local.
Are you locals? Nice. Well, thank you for not shaking my hand, leaving me hanging and being a...
In no time, security and police intervened when tensions escalated, and Veitch was detained briefly under suspicion of harassment. The event did not result in long-term charges, but the short detention itself became content for online circulation, highlighting a paradox. Legal consequences simultaneously endangered and amplified his digital presence. Analysts observed that Veitch's legal brushes became part of his personal brand, reinforcing his image as an activist unafraid to push against societal norms, even at the risk of arrest.
I will. Yeah, I'm a YouTuber, so I make money off this, but
I get that. But at the same time,
yeah,
we're
sure.
trying to do something, aren't we?
Well, yeah, but he just literally throwing punches attacked me, tried to knock me over inside Marks and Spencer's.
Inside Marks and Spencer's?
Yes. Well, we were outside. He took offence with me doing my vlog. Said, "Oh, you're not allowed here. It's a local town for local people."
Give us 1 second. You want to talk to us in a sec? You're offended his mother. At the moment, you're under suspicion of committing a Section 5 public order offence. So put that down.
Okay, sir. I'm currently under detention in a van. There, I'm being issued a Section 5 public order notice for arguing with people in public.
Likewise, video footage from another incident, later uploaded to social platforms, showed Veitch engaging in an argument with police while refusing to step back when asked. Legal analysts later noted that, although no charges were ultimately pursued, the disagreement illustrated the delicate balance between exercising free speech and maintaining civility. Veitch's repeated encounters with authorities emphasized that the legal system consistently monitored his activities, reflecting the risks inherent in his provocative approach. In addition to arrests and detentions, Veitch faced legal scrutiny for the broader implications of his public actions. Authorities occasionally expressed concern about the safety of individuals involved in his videos. In one incident, a confrontation between his bodyguard and an old man outside a crowded urban plaza resulted in minor scuffles. Though no formal charges were brought against him, the video reinforced the perception that Veitch's content routinely skirted legal boundaries. Also, Veitch's legal encounters were not without consequence. Fines, temporary detentions, and the occasional arrest became part of his public narrative, contributing to a persona of defiance and risk-taking. In the public eye, these incidents cemented his reputation as a controversial figure who consistently challenged authority. However, these legal challenges also sparked discussion about the ethical and practical limits of activism. Thus, throughout his career, Veitch maintained a consistent pattern: confront, film, provoke, and navigate the legal repercussions. Each encounter with law enforcement became content, with videos often edited to highlight the tension between the creator and authorities. This approach allowed Veitch to maintain relevance and generate discussion even when the immediate outcome involved police detention. Over time, Veitch's legal history illustrated a consistent theme. The pursuit of confrontational content carries inherent risks, and for him those risks were both a challenge and an asset. While some viewed his repeated detentions as reckless, others saw them as evidence of his dedication to his form of social engagement. Regardless of interpretation, the documentation of these legal encounters became an essential part of his narrative, providing context for both supporters and critics to evaluate his methods and their consequences. These repeated clashes with law enforcement laid the groundwork for Veitch's next phase, shifting from street-level provocations to questioning larger systems of power. By the mid-2000s, he had fully entered the world of 9/11 truth or discourse, challenging the mainstream narrative and aligning himself with voices that claimed the attacks were part of a deeper orchestrated agenda.
Oh, I just looked at my watch. It's 9/11. Whoa. Please carry out a 9/11 at one of the main fence here.
This wasn't just curiosity anymore. It was a full immersion into alternative narratives that questioned everything the public was told. In the years following 9/11, online forums were flooded with questions that mainstream media weren't answering fast enough. Among the loudest voices challenging the official narrative were Alex Jones and David Icke, figures who had already built reputations on questioning power, weaving government secrecy with broader theories about control, deception, and manipulation. Our subject entered this space as a truther, fully immersed in the belief that what happened on September 11th wasn't simply a terrorist attack, but an orchestrated operation with deeper motives.
So I need to conjure up the BBC here to kind of pick me for New York, and then if I can travel on my Brazilian passport, I can go to New York and tell everyone how 9/11 was a secret society plot by elitist people to sacrifice 3,000 humans to further their New World Order agenda.
Initially, he found common ground with Jones and Icke. Jones, then at the height of his early influence, promoted aggressive skepticism toward government narratives, while Icke blended political conspiracy with metaphysical claims, attracting both political dissidents and spiritual seekers. Together they occupied overlapping yet distinct territories, united by distrust of institutions. At first he was seen as a promising ally, someone articulate, unafraid, and willing to amplify the conversation.
you're a terrorist and that you might be able to use this for terrorist purposes, so we have every right to treat you as such. And the reason why I was probably a bit too polite to them is because in Britain they have the right to detain you for 28 days without charge, and I was actually scared.
But maybe we should force that issue, because these guys also spy on the Parliament without Bob Chapman and close.
But online ecosystems, especially those rooted in conspiracy, have a dangerous gravitational pull. Loyalty is conditional on maintaining the narrative. The moment a prominent figure questions the core mythos, they don't just risk losing followers, they risk becoming the new enemy. By 2012, after years of contributing to conspiracy discourse, something changed. He began to reevaluate the claims surrounding 9/11.
You or your group might be believing or wanting to believe. You have to give the truth the greatest respect. And I do. But anyway, on a lighter note, it's f***ing New York. It's amazing. I love this city. It's epic.
What once felt airtight began to show cracks under scrutiny. New investigations, declassified documents, and his own private research started to point toward a more complicated, less orchestrated truth. It wasn't that he suddenly embraced the government story wholesale. It was that he no longer believed the sweeping, coordinated inside job theories that had defined his earlier work.
Structural engineering firm that made the Twin Towers. I've poured through the original documents of the World Trade Center. I've met a controlled demolition expert, and we were chatting on the 45th floor of the new World Trade Center 7 building, and you really saw the vast scale of the World Trade Center complex and that new Freedom Tower that they're building, which would be 1,776 feet high. I don't know, man, I was a real firm believer in the conspiracy, that it was a controlled demolition, that it was not in any way as the official story explained, but meeting these engineers, meeting these demolition experts, meeting the aviation experts that explain how these massive airliners can be controlled rather easily at any altitude and can be accelerated, and exploring the kinetic energy in Boeing 767s traveling at 500 miles an hour, slamming into buildings. It's really opened up a lot more questions, and it's answered a few of mine in terms of pyroclastic dust. I mean,
this reversal didn't stay private for long. One of his supposed friends leaked a conversation with him where he talked about changing his mindset and getting a job with the BBC because of it. When people found out about it, they were furious. If Charlie really cared for humans, he would be doing humanitarian work, not flouncing with the media. However, Charlie also had some points to lay out for his fans. According to him, he had changed his mind a long time ago but had not communicated about it to his followers. Moreover, the job came after he had changed his mind, so he hadn't retreated or been bribed into it.
I should have maybe explained it better. I should have maybe come and spoken to camera a bit more rather than just the Times Square video and going to speak to Max Eigen and Mr. Britt on the radio. I should have maybe just come and said it myself to you guys straight.
His detailed video convinced fewer people because they felt betrayed, but Charlie leaned into being a conspiracy theorist who changed his mind.
You know, to the structural engineers, what happened to the internal columns when that plane of the World Trade Center 1 and 2, what happened when the planes hit at 500 miles an hour? And they say, frankly, we don't know. There was damage, but we don't know. And these guys didn't try and bullshit us. They didn't try and give us propaganda. They gave us honest answers.
In a podcast interview that year, he publicly stated that he no longer identified as a 9/11 truther. He acknowledged that he had been wrong on key points, that the movement itself had overlooked legitimate evidence, and too much of it had been driven by speculation over substance. At that moment, one of personal integrity in his eyes detonated like a bomb inside the conspiracy community.
About conspiracy theorists, and was taken to see some of the sites around 9/11 here in the United States and talk to a variety of experts, and has now officially changed his position from being one of the most outspoken advocates of 9/11 truth to saying it couldn't have possibly been the government because they're not competent enough to have pulled something off. Charlie Veitch, thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Conspiracy theories aren't really based in fact. And I got to grill experts, be they retired or not retired, in their chosen field about what happened. And they explained to me quite reasonably, quite logically, that it wasn't a controlled demolition, that it wasn't an inside job, that the intelligence agencies effed up, basically.
Almost immediately, figures like Alex Jones treated the statement not as intellectual growth, but as betrayal. On air, Jones suggested that anyone reversing their position after years of knowing the truth had either been compromised or coerced. David Icke, while less confrontational publicly, reportedly dismissed him privately as another casualty of the system, someone who couldn't handle the full scope of reality.
Resistance will never stop. Human liberty will never stop. We're going to defeat these parasites. They don't deserve the earth. They don't deserve to control human destiny. I don't believe any of it. They've been proven liars over and over again. They call you a conspiracy theorist if you question liars.
But nothing compared to what happened between him and Alex. During his foray into the 9/11 truther scene, Veitch became entangled in a public spat with Alex Jones. Jones accused Veitch of being an operative, claiming he had prior knowledge of his activities and suggesting a hidden agenda behind his videos and investigations.
You know, I told Paul Watson about a year ago, I said, stay away from this particular activist. He's got psychopath, sociopath eyes, because they see you as prey. They think it's a big joke how they manipulate you. And I've learned to recognize them throughout life because I'm the opposite of these people. I've got all the rage, all the power, and more, but I've got love that's so much larger. So I can basically go into the other side. I can see them. And Watson was like, Alex, you're always right in the past, but come on. Then he wanted to go to Bilderberg with this person, and I said, no way. I said, they're an operative. They're going to turn against 9/11 truth, everything else. And Watson called me and he said, I can't believe you're right again. How the hell do you know this stuff? Because I don't just say it about everybody and then I'm right sometimes. I'm always with precision. It's a gut instinct. Over the years, I've just haven't followed my instincts. Now I do because they're never wrong.
Veitch fired back sharply, dismissing Jones as a popular fat Texas conspiracy theorist and critiquing the sensationalism and theatrics that characterized Jones' approach. The exchange highlighted not only the tension between different figures in the alternative media space, but also Veitch's willingness to confront prominent personalities head-on while defending his own credibility.
There's some popular fat Texan conspiracy theorists who you can spread hate and misery on their channel, and because you kind of don't leave me alone, I've had to shut down the comments section. But anyway, it's not a big deal because, look, what I like doing is making films and coming and speaking to camera. So I don't know how you haters are going to stop me doing that. So, f*** you. Like, seriously. Like, my life is great. I hang out with all the people I want to hang out with. I live in a nice house with friends. I travel all over the world. And I probably get more attention from the opposite sex in one day than you get in your whole life.
From there, feuds escalated. Forums that once praised his courage now called him a sellout. Live streams dissected his statements frame by frame, looking for hidden motives. Some claimed he had been bought off. Others speculated about threats, blackmail, or even deep state recruitment. It didn't matter how many times he explained that his reversal was the product of research and self-correction. The narrative had already been set by the community. He had crossed a line that could not be uncrossed. Alex Jones turned the tension into content. Multiple broadcasts referenced traitors in the movement, controlled opposition, and wolves in sheep's clothing. His mentions became coded language in conspiracy spaces, shorthand for a warning: don't trust anyone who changes their mind.
And they're going to do this over and over again because they're desperate, because their favorite tool of staging terror attacks, then posing as saviors as a pretext to enslave the sheep isn't working anymore. The system is panicking. They know that you're aware of the fact they're a pack of liars.
The clash with Jones marked a turning point, bridging Veitch's conspiracy activism with heightened public interest in his personal life, where controversies and online drama would increasingly intersect. While his online presence is often defined by provocative content, scrutiny of his public life reveals patterns that have fueled debate and criticism across social media. This guy shouldn't be having kids, not this woman either, to be honest. Moreover, one of his earliest known relationships was with Silky Carlo, a British activist associated with Big Brother Watch. Their relationship ended in 2012 and remained largely private. There are no documented disputes or public allegations tied to this period.
Ta-da! It's Silky and MI7 recruitment. What's going on here? What's all this? Ah, I see. What's this? Wake-up call playing in the background here, megaphone on the table. This is definitely a terrorist organization.
His subsequent relationship with Stacy Bluer, a mother of 3 children, generated significant public attention. Bluer accused Veitch of emotional abuse, manipulation, and violence. She described him as a sociopathic, pathological liar, and allegedly, he attempted to control her interactions with their children. She also claimed he tried to involve them in his online content without consent. These allegations were made public through videos and social media posts, prompting discussion about his behavior.
His children. I've tried to co-parent with him as best I can. And I know everyone throws the term narcissist around these days, but with Charlie, it genuinely is something pathological. Sociopathy, narcissism, I don't know. He's done tests online for sociopathy that have come back high, he's told me, so, you know, but there's only so much you can co-parent with somebody who is so reckless and a pathological liar.
Veitch addressed these claims in a TikTok video, acknowledging a 2015 conviction for assault against Bluer and expressing remorse. He stated he had changed his behavior since. Bluer publicly disputed his version of events, releasing her own video that contradicted his account and described ongoing manipulation. The differing narratives fueled debate among viewers and on social media, with users analyzing credibility and ethics.
So it got to a point where when he started attacking people in the street, not just on a moral basis, and the fact that it was triggering seeing him doing all that against other people, but in terms of the safety of my children, I felt it necessary to cut him off, and it's happened intermittently over the last few years.
Discussions about Veitch's behavior extend beyond videos. On Reddit, users have criticized his conduct in personal relationships and public interactions. Comments describe him as aggressive, manipulative, and coercive. One user wrote, "Seems he's a bully, harassing people and even assaulting people," while another described him as shoving cameras in the faces of vulnerable people. These discussions consolidate public opinion and maintain scrutiny of his conduct. Likewise, Veitch's current partnership has also been publicly discussed. His partner accused him of emotional manipulation and controlling behavior, claiming he isolated her from friends and family. Social media posts with her statements reinforce public scrutiny and reflect patterns similar to the allegations from Bluer.
I've done everything for you. Everything, Laura. I've done everything right. One thing I need you to promise me, don't fucking tell any government or health officials about my private life, yeah? Don't, please, I beg you that at least.
What's more, the visibility of Veitch's relationships is amplified by his online persona, which thrives on confrontation and provocation. Legal history, public acknowledgement of past incidents, and ongoing disputes contribute to a persistent narrative of relational controversy. Public discussion often evaluates both factual allegations and behavioral patterns, highlighting patterns of coercion, control, and emotional manipulation.
And what, Laura? So say I stop smoking, it's in the evening. You're not even listening to me. You've just dehumanized me. I'm not even worth looking at.
Because you're shouting.
Laura, there's no getting through to you. I'm not even worth looking at.
Observers note continuity in Veitch's behavior across relationships. Supporters sometimes frame his actions as extensions of his eccentric public persona, while critics emphasize harm to partners and children. The contrast between his private relationship with Carlo and the publicized, conflict-laden relationships with Bluer and his current partner highlights the heightened scrutiny his personal life has received. These controversies are inseparable from discussions of his public identity. Online commentary, particularly on Reddit, illustrates how Veitch's relationships inform broader debates about ethics, responsibility, and personal conduct. Users analyze allegations in the context of social behavior and accountability. Discussions reference both the veracity of claims and the patterns implied, illustrating how his relationships are used to assess his character. The claims from his current partner reinforce concerns about manipulation and control. Social media reactions show a divided audience. Some remain loyal, viewing Veitch as misunderstood, while others condemn him based on reported behavior. This split reflects the persistent tension between his personal controversies and public persona, where private conduct informs interpretation of online behavior.
Laura, there's no getting through to you. I'm not even worth looking at. I'm to you now. You've had your baby. I'm useless now, aren't I?
As a result, the accumulation of past and present allegations creates a sustained narrative of personal misconduct. Legal acknowledgement of past incidents, public disputes, and ongoing revelations collectively form a continuous thread in public discourse. This narrative is separate from his online antics, ideological positions, or public confrontations, but directly impacts how he's perceived. This public scrutiny and ongoing controversy stand in sharp contrast to Veitch's early life in Brazil, where growing up in a multicultural family shaped his curious and bold approach to engaging with the world. Charlie Veitch was born in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to a multicultural family that blended Scottish and Brazilian heritage. The combination of European and South American influences shaped his worldview from an early age, exposing him to contrasting cultural attitudes, social norms, and modes of expression. Also, his family's background afforded him exposure to both intellectual and creative traditions, and he frequently credited his parents with fostering an inquisitive mindset. Growing up in Brazil, Veitch experienced a complex environment of urban diversity, social stratification, and public visibility, elements that would later surface in his work as a provocateur and public activist. In his teenage years, Veitch moved to the United Kingdom, settling in Scotland. This relocation introduced him to a different social framework, offering access to formal education and intellectual circles. He eventually enrolled at the University of Edinburgh, where he studied philosophy. His academic focus on ethics, political theory, and epistemology provided the theoretical underpinnings for much of his later work. From ideological activism to public debate, philosophy exposed Veitch to questions of morality, truth, and social responsibility, which would later intersect with both his online persona and his street-level performance art. Following his degree, Veitch initially pursued a conventional career in finance, joining HBOS, one of the United Kingdom's major banking institutions at the time. While he demonstrated aptitude in financial analysis and risk assessment, colleagues noted an undercurrent of dissatisfaction with corporate structures. Veitch found the rigid hierarchies, profit-driven motives, and bureaucratic culture of banking to be stifling, leading to increasing delusionment.
When I was 13, I got sent to boarding school in Scotland, in Edinburgh. And I went to Edinburgh University after that, studying philosophy, because I guess, like many people who are young, I wanted to find out the secrets of what knowledge is, what it means to be a human being.
This period of his life is significant because it represents a turning point. Exposure to structured, high-pressure professional environments amplified his later skepticism of authority and institutional systems. Rather than pursuing a long-term career in finance, he began seeking opportunities where he could engage directly with social issues and express personal philosophies in public arenas.
So I didn't enjoy it. I used to sell investments to people, and I used to make some good bonuses from it. But around 2008, the economy started crashing around the world, and I lost my job in finance, and it allowed me to really question who runs the world, where does money come from, what is politics, what is geostrategy in terms of politics, and are our governments, are they moral or immoral when they're killing lots of people around the world?
Veitch's transition from finance to activism coincided with his exposure to early street culture, alternative media, and subversive performance art. He became interested in projects that challenged social norms through visibility, confrontation, and humor. In this period, he developed the principles that would later define the Love Police, an activist collective blending street performance, satire, and social commentary.
You guys are human beings as well. It's just that inside of uniform you uphold the criminal government.
I started a group called the Love Police, whose job is to lower fear and raise love, using the megaphone, using anarchism, using absurdity.
The Love Police emerged as a deliberate experiment in public interaction, where social conventions were disrupted and ordinary citizens were confronted with unexpected situations. Veitch and his collaborators sought to provoke reactions, whether amusement, discomfort, or moral reflection. The underlying philosophy was consistent with his academic background. By generating situations that forced individuals to question behavior, authority, and social norms, he could reveal latent cultural assumptions.
It's going to put everyone into austerity, everyone's losing their jobs, but we can afford to spend £8 million a day bombing Libyans.
The Love Police gained early attention for their unconventional tactics. Members of the group often dressed as pseudo-officers, creating ambiguity around authority and enforcement. This included improvisational uniforms, mock badges, and playful yet assertive engagement with the public. Their methods were designed to elicit strong responses while remaining legally defensible. By appearing as figures of institutional authority, Veitch and his collaborators were able to explore the dynamics of obedience, compliance, and public performance. For example, they would approach individuals in public spaces, question them on trivial or absurd infractions, and document their reactions on video. The resulting footage highlighted both the unpredictability of human behavior and the elasticity of social norms under pressure. In addition to impersonating officers, the Love Police employed street activism in the form of pranks, public stunts, and guerrilla-style social experiments. Veitch became known for directly confronting strangers with exaggerated claims, challenging assumptions about morality, legality, and civility. These engagements were recorded and shared within early digital platforms, creating an archive of provocative encounters that contributed to his initial reputation as a bold and confrontational figure.
CCTV.
What, mate? How you doing?
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm very well. What's your flat number?
My flat number is anonymous. I am a member of the Love Police.
Of the?
Love Police.
Okay, I'll take your film with me, yeah?
You are under surveillance by members of the Love Police, sir. Do you have a message for the Love Police? Have we been very naughty? Are you going to come and tell us off?
Normally, Veitch maintained careful attention to timing, setting, and audience, often selecting locations that were visibly or socially charged, such as busy streets, parks, or urban squares. This methodical approach ensured maximum visibility and engagement, laying the foundation for his later viral content.
Look, I'm not having a go at what your job is. Sorry. I'm not having a go at what your job is. What I find is quite humorous is that someone's come out of the way, they've, enacted upon their freedom of speech. There's nothing wrong with that. That's an inalienable human right. No court of law can go against that. He's used, voice enhancement machine or device, and regardless, he hasn't contributed to noise pollution levels because this device is actually by the standard of noise pollution levels.
This period also involved reputational building through visibility, both on the street and online. Veitch understood the importance of consistent persona creation, combining intellectual commentary, performative confrontation, and staged unpredictability. The Love Police's activities were designed to provoke dialogue, attract attention, and cultivate a distinct identity in the emerging landscape of digital content.
Because I would not consent. How did I not consent? I did not give my person's name, and I didn't give my address. They cannot charge you unless you consent. Check our website called TPOP.
By engaging with strangers directly, using humor, shock, and moral questioning, Veitch and his team created a recognizable brand of activism that blended ethical inquiry with spectacle. He became known not just for what he said, but for how he forced others to respond, testing patience, curiosity, and social reflexes.
United community! Power to the people! Live your life! I don't care! You'll never, ever get away with it! I've committed no harm, loss, or injury!
Veitch's confrontational philosophy during this era emphasized interaction over passive observation. He often prioritized engaging individuals who would not typically encounter philosophical critique, such as pedestrians, street performers, or small business owners. The aim was not simply to document public behavior, but to provoke reflection on the ways authority, social norms, and morality are internalized. In this sense, the Love Police functioned as a practical extension of his philosophical studies, bridging abstract ideas with concrete, real-world social dynamics. The early public response to the Love Police was mixed. Some observers appreciated the creativity, humor, and social critique inherent in their activities. Others criticized the confrontational style, suggesting that it crossed ethical boundaries or created discomfort unnecessarily. Veitch's approach was deliberately polarizing. He sought to challenge assumptions and expose contradictions in both institutional authority and everyday interactions. This polarity contributed to his growing visibility and established the groundwork for his later digital influence.
And I wish for you guys to protect mine. You guys swore an oath to protect all
citizens and people do this and stuff. But in terms of PR for the police, this is obviously going to be on lots of video channels on the news. There's a lot of people here saw why I was doing this, and it's not against you guys.
This early polarization foreshadowed the direction of Veitch's later work, where controversy, shock, and unpredictability became the defining features of his digital persona. Charlie Veitch's current online presence centers on deliberate provocation and attention-driven performance.
Oh, he's picking up a weapon. Oh, you've just guaranteed yourself an arrest. Hopefully he's on the phone to the police. Hopefully he's, I hope you are. I hope you've made the schoolboy error. Wow. Scary little man. And the guy with the long... Oh, he's getting shy now. Are you getting shy? You're not going to call me grass? Scary boys in tracksuits? You're not going to kick anything. You're not going to kick anything, mate. You're going to throw insults and run away like the little girl you are. Come on. Uh-oh, he's picking up a weapon. Oh, you've just guaranteed yourself an arrest. What a retard! You've guaranteed yourself to get arrested. Anyway, good shot with the traffic code. You're gonna get arrested. Right, let's call the police now. Mate, you're gonna have to wait. Whoa! Scary twitchy guy. Scary twitchy guy, are we? Bet you wish you hadn't have thrown that cone at me now. Go on then, do it. Also, don't throw traffic cones. Don't throw traffic cones at the cameraman. Someone off camera. Charlie, you effing grass. This is one of the problems with our society. Shall we tolerate things going to shit because we're scared to tell the rest of society about it? Just let it go to shit. Anyway, the inner labia have been opened. The seed has been inserted.
Across TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram clips, his content is short, erratic, and confrontational, optimized for immediate viewer engagement. Gone are the long-form conspiracy videos and street activism of his earlier years. He now operates almost entirely in short, viral clips where unpredictability and shock value dominate. His style blurs the line between performance, confrontation, and social observation, leaving viewers unsure whether he's serious, joking, or exaggerating, a deliberate ambiguity central to his appeal.
What's up, man?
What are you doing, man? Go for it, man. Go away.
He's going to try and grab the camera. He's going to try and grab the camera.
What are you doing? Huh? Man. So, don't get the camera off me, man. Why you get the camera off me? Huh? No, walk away. No, I'm staying here, man.
Don't attack the camera, man. Look at that.
Go away, man. Go away, man.
He did warn you, mate. He did warn you. Good one, Fred. He deserved that. More than anything, let's go down Market Street because he's going to get 10 friends.
As a proof, many videos feature encounters with strangers in public spaces. He frequently approaches pedestrians, engaging them in absurd or confrontational exchanges, often without consent. By targeting individuals unlikely to respond, he amplifies the absurdity, forcing reactions that are both unpredictable and highly shareable. However, elderly men or indifferent pedestrians frequently ignore him, creating a stark contrast between his intensity and their non-reaction, a recurring visual motif that draws the viewer's attention. Surreal elements, props, and exaggerated gestures further enhance virality. One Reddit thread focused on him confronting a disabled guy who had done nothing wrong. Audience responses are polarized. Supporters frame him as a bold provocateur challenging social norms, while others consume his content as pure entertainment, creating reaction videos or parodies. Critics accuse him of harassment or erratic attention-seeking. Every reaction, positive or negative, amplifies visibility, reflecting the centrality of engagement over substance. Moreover, Veitch's strategy relies on escalation. Deliberate social discomfort, ambiguity, and provocation drive virality. Clips that appear meaningless or absurd, such as silent stares into the camera, generate speculation and further engagement. He also leverages self-referential awareness, encouraging tagging and sharing to expand reach. Thematic focus has shifted from ideology to spectacle. Absurdity, confrontation, and social observation dominate, often concluding with surreal gags or cryptic statements.
I'm a what? What are you talking to me like that for, you little gremlin? What are you saying me to?
Poverty tourist.
What is your problem? Aye. Anyway, can you say hi to the 250,000? 250,000, say hi to them.
Poverty tourist.
Go on, say it again.
Poverty tourist, that's what you are.
Sorry, we don't understand your accent. What are you saying?
Poverty tourist.
Sorry, can you say that in English?
In prioritizing immediate reaction over coherence, Veitch has adopted the mechanics of short-form platforms, ensuring sustained relevance. Each encounter, prop, or cryptic monologue fuels a self-sustaining cycle of attention. His current persona demonstrates mastery of engagement-driven content, exploiting public reaction, unpredictability, and spectacle to maintain a continuous presence in online discourse, where visibility has become the ultimate measure of influence.
Shut Elvis down!
Shut Elvis Presley. I always preferred the Rolling Stones. Elvis Presley's awful. Shut Elvis down. Elvis.
You're not funny, you're just an asshole.
And you ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Shut Elvis down!
Waving your dirty dog paw print flag.
Elvis down!
Angry.
Dirty.
She ain't nothing but a hound dog. Crying all the time. She ain't nothing but a hound dog.
There's other people not allowed on this planet apart from you. Go f*** yourself. Who do you think?
Oh God, Flagman. Come on, Flagman. I know my father. I'm not a bastard, sir. I know my dad. Do you know your dad? Don't push me into traffic. There's lorries and stuff behind me, you know. You guys need to maybe work. If you're supporting peace, you should work on your peacefulness.
Yeah, because you're so peaceful, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I don't attack people like you, hound dog.
Charlie Veitch's story shows just how fine the line can be between activism, performance, and the law. His work challenges us to think about compassion, community, and the consequences of speaking out in public spaces. What do you think? Should street activism have limits? Or is it an essential tool for social awareness? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and like and subscribe to the channel.